Hello, everyone, and welcome to the NYU Returns webinar on programs and resources for student success. Please note that closed captioning is available for this session. My name is Kadia Ba, and I'm a rising junior in the Roy Meyer School of Nursing. And with me today are Bernie Savarese, Assistant Vice President for Student Success and the Student Experience, Natasha Bean, Program Director for Financial Education, Leah Lattimore, Assistant Vice President of Inclusive Global Student Leadership and Engagement, and Director of the Center for Multicultural Education and Programs, and Soomie, Assistant Dean of Academic Support Services and Director of the University Learning Center. Thank you all for joining us, and can you all please take a moment to describe your offices and your roles, starting with Bernie?
Yes, I'd be happy to. Good morning, Kadia, and hello, everyone. So she said, my name is Bernie Savarese, and for the students on the webinar, I am your Assistant Vice President for Student Success. I'll speak a little bit more about student success here briefly, but our area includes a lot of different services for you, right? So they may be very specific to a part of groups that you're in, including opportunity programs or the MLK Scholars. But we also oversee areas such as financial education, and we have Natasha here today, right? And our broader student success team who works with campus partners, our deans and our schools, and also our team of student success specialists who work directly with students. And I'll talk more about the great work they do to make sure that you have all the resources and information you need to be successful in your days at NYU. That's me. Thank you.
Thank you. And next, can we have Natasha?
Hi, everybody. I'm Natasha Bean, and I'm the Program Director of Financial Education. So what is financial education? I like to say we talk about financial literacy for students, so that's what it's commonly known as, and we help all of our students here empower you, help you make responsible decisions about your choices as an NYU student, and then set you up to be comfortable with your financial success beyond.
Thank you. And can we have Leah next?
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us and listening to us. My name is Leah Lattimore, and I am the Assistant Vice President for Inclusive Global Student Leadership and Engagement within the Office of Global Inclusion, Diversity, and Strategic Innovation. So what does all of that mean? It means that we are here to think about, actively work toward creating a more inclusive campus culture. And so within the Office of Global Inclusion, we work across many units in many areas. I focus specifically in student-facing, student-serving, and student-centered opportunities, and that includes our Multicultural Center, known as CMEP, C-M-E-P, and our LGBTQ+ Center, which you'll hear a little bit more about later today when you tune into a webinar at 2:30. But we really think about how we're creating leadership opportunities, how we're creating opportunities to advance inclusion, diversity, and equity on campus, and certainly globally.
Thank you. And last but not least, can we have Soomie, please?
Hi, everybody. Welcome. So the first part of my title being the Assistant Dean for Academic Support Services, that's specifically within the College of Arts and Science. And so I am looking very specifically as an academic advisor and an assistant dean at our academic support services in there. As director of the University Learning Center, the Learning Center does serve the greater university population as a whole, and we provide support for whatever classes that we can manage to do that for.
Okay, thank you, everyone. I'd like to remind our viewers that we'll be starting off with some questions that were submitted in advance, and we will also be taking questions from the audience if time permits. So if you have a question, please click the Q&A button. And we'd like to remind you that we'll only be answering questions about student success programs today. So if anyone has a question that will be better answered in a future webinar session, please know that we'll pass those questions along to the panelists for the future. So let's get started. So our first question is like a generic question for everyone. What does student success mean at NYU?
All right, I think I'll hop in first, if you don't mind. And so for those who have heard me speak on campus or maybe even at recruitment events for our incoming students, I always talk about student success being both an ethos and an office. And we say that because it really is this shared belief that guides all of us, right? That we're all here to ensure that our students have access to what they need to thrive at NYU. But we're also fortunate to have an office dedicated to student success more broadly. And we're looking at all the different factors, right, that could impact a student and not only their persistence, but their overall happiness here at the university, their sense of belonging and connection. And that's why today you see colleagues from all across campus, right, joining us. We're really looking to make sure that we make this big place feel small for our students and our faculty and our staff, for everyone. And we're really looking to help focus on ensuring that all the folks who need to, right, really have the resources and information they need, right, faculty, students, and staff. Ultimately, my belief is that we're here to deliver on the promise of higher education for our students. We want to make sure that they are taking advantage of all that NYU has to offer. I'll often say that you can make a big place like NYU feel small. It's hard to make a small campus feel big. So we really want students to leverage and take advantage of all that's here. And we're all here to help you do that. We do that in a lot of different ways. As I said, we work together in collaboration across the campus horizontally. We have a lot of outstanding services and offices like my colleagues here today, and including the colleagues that I work with in the Office of Student Success. And so it really is a broad campus-wide effort, but ultimately it's really focused on students. What do our students need and how do we make sure that we deliver?
Thank you. So we're gonna move on to the next question. What are ways that we help students navigate all we have to offer? What if a student has questions or if they don't even know where to start?
So I'm going to take a stab at this one for a little bit. Like Bernie was saying, making a big place feel small. A lot of the earliest outreach to new students has been from their academic advisors, school specific wise. So again, starting to make things feel very specific to a student. And then the advisors are there really to help them choose their own adventure through college. There is a lot, so we do want to help them navigate this. The first step was registration for fall classes to get that academic part settled. Talk about those big pictures, the goals that a student might have for college to start to shape those. The advisors will be there through orientation and beyond. And we also are often that one name, a single name, that one inbox reply to message that a student can sort of throw their questions at. If we're not that proper resource, if we don't know the answers, and there is a lot, especially right now, that we feel like we don't know, we will forward that on, we'll find the right reference, and try to help get that student the answers that they are looking for as they navigate their way through NYU.
Yeah, thanks, Soomie. I'll just follow up here. One, to underscore the importance of the academic advisor and their role, but also to give another plug for the Office of Student Success. One of the tools that we offer to all students on campus is something called NYU Connect. And in addition to Albert, where you may go to schedule classes, and NYU classes where you might go to find course information, NYU Connect is that really important third tool for our student community. When students log into NYU Connect, they quickly are able to access information like their success network, which includes their academic advisors and other key resources for them. They can schedule appointments through the tool. They can look up campus resources. And they can also, while they're there, make an appointment with one of our student success specialists in the Office of Student Success. And much like your academic advisor, our specialists are there to really ensure that you're able to find whatever information you might need. If you're not sure where to start, and you have a question, maybe you don't even know what your question is yet, right? That's okay. You can always reach out to us, and that's why we're here. We'll help you navigate the campus. We won't just refer you, we'll stick with you, right? We'll make sure that you find the right office, that your question is addressed and that it's answered fully. And if it's not, right, we'll be there to help you make sure that you really get what you need. And oftentimes we're working really hard to connect you, right, person to person with the people who are on this Zoom call and beyond. Because I think campuses really excel when they're really able to facilitate relationships and people, and that's what we try to do every day.
Okay, thank you. So our next question is specifically for Leah. So students hear a lot about getting involved and finding their community. Why is that important to student success? And what are some steps students can take to feel connected to the NYU community, especially if they're staying remotely or studying remotely?
Thank you. I really appreciate that question, and kind of building off some of the conversation we've been having. Bernie said something around building on the promises of higher ed, and I love that because one of the biggest promises that's connected to higher education is finding your community, building your network, and just kind of growing as an individual. So I came to NYU as an undergraduate student from Cleveland, Ohio in 2000. And I can say that a lot of the people that I connected with, I'm still connected to, or certainly have expanded my network amongst NYU students, alums, faculty members, administrators, et cetera. So it's really important because it's not just about like the friend making experience, which is key as well, but you have an opportunity to connect with someone who is going through the same thing, experiencing similar things that you are. And so you have an opportunity to make friends, to build your network, to connect with people, as well as learn something new and something different. So success, when we talk about it, is not just, you know, the pinnacle hierarchy of just straight A's and, you know, president of every, you know, organization. Success is also about you feeling that this NYU community is yours, that you feel that you belong, that you feel that there are people here who are supportive of you, who also challenge you and help you grow. So some of those steps and some of the things that you can do, if you haven't already, and I'll speak to students, particularly in this moment, make sure that you're connecting to some of the NYU welcome events and hangouts. It's a great opportunity to just casually connect with your peers. Sign up for club involvement. It's going to be really crucial for just digging into your own interests. I think we have over 300 plus clubs and organizations at NYU. There's going to be something here for you and someone that you can connect with. And then further, when you're here, when you are here, and when I say here, that means presently enrolled taking classes at NYU. We want you to engage in office hours with your faculty members. Some of you may be wondering, what? I don't know what to talk about. Go in there and say, I don't know what to talk about when I want to take advantage of being able to connect with this world-class faculty here at NYU, right? That's how you build that faculty network even outside of the classroom. Think about things that are involved, that are offered throughout your department, things that are offered within the Wasserman Center. So don't feel too overwhelmed. There's a lot, but just starting with your interests, starting with some of your comfort zone, and then allow the university to kind of help push you beyond that. As I said, I was from Ohio, and so when I came in, there were a lot of things from different languages, countries that I didn't know really existed, and had an opportunity to build my network and connect with people and learn and engage and just build that curiosity. So success, as we talk about here, is really finding your space. Whether you're sitting, you know, in Ohio, whether you're going to be in Washington Square, whether you're starting in Shanghai, wherever you are, there's an opportunity for you to connect and build your network.
Thank you so much for that. So our next question is for Natasha. So you said you oversee financial education. So what can financial education actually do for students like me?
Thanks for asking that. So financial education is a great resource for our students to help prepare them to make good financial decisions. I mean, let's be honest. Everybody has a relationship with money, whether it's very positive or not so great. And we want to help them understand some things that they can do now as a student so that helps them in their lifelong financial goal setting. We want to help them budget. So we have budgeting workshops. We help students understand like savings versus spending and different things like money management and even banking principles around different seasons of the year, like tax time. We help students understand like, oh, I made some money. Do I need to pay taxes? Or who can I go to as a resource? And then just helping other students who may have financial aid or not work through some maybe financial challenges that they may come across throughout their time at the institution. So we do that a number of ways, and we think financial education is a great tool for people to engage in not just their first time or not when they're in a, you know, maybe a difficult situation, but come get to know us or virtually get to know us, and we'll be able to help you throughout your time here at NYU.
Thank you. So our next question is for Soomie. So what services does the university offer to help students succeed in their classes? And will that look any different this fall?
Thank you. Yes. So the biggest, easiest thing to point to about support for classes, specifically academic support, is the University Learning Center. which is a free peer-to-peer learning center. That's a big advantage for our students. It's undergrads, and so it's comfortable for students to come get help from other undergrads. Leah talked about community. We are finding that, you know, your classes is a nice way to build community around the common interest, at least of struggling through the same class and wanting to get a good grade in those classes. We, of course, recognize that everything that both Leah and Natasha was talking about have an impact on academic success. The Learning Center just sort of, we're focused on those specific academics in the classes there. We have a lot of drop-in sessions, so that those are one-on-one sessions. We also have group sessions that support some of the sort of the in-demand, the larger courses that we know we can support well as a group. All of these things are going to be offered online. Last spring, we flipped to holding all of our sessions online, and they've worked that way. We are going to continue to do that for the fall semester. So everything we traditionally offer, we do plan to have as a remote option for students. We are working on building up some of our website resources and WordPress sites that are managed directly by our students, pretty much because students speak the same language as students. So they will get the information across in a better way that we can. And we've got a great staff of students who are doing those things for us. Also later this month, we are running some short workshops on the technology used for classes. So the Zoom platform and NYU classes just kind of set the tone, set the expectation of what a course might look like online. We have a couple of student panels planned for the first week of classes to address time management, study strategies. And then we move directly into our How to Succeed workshops, and those are geared towards specific classes. So how to succeed in organic chemistry, how to succeed in calculus 1 or 2 or 3, or math or economics. So when we get going, we're gonna get going and just off and running when all that happens. All of it is student-led, so it is also a nice time to check in and just talk to another peer who has been through our spring semester, who will be here in the fall to support everybody.
Thank you. I'm excited to use the Learning Center this semester too. So our next question is for Bernie. Where can students go if they're concerned about the ability to fully participate in remote learning because of technology or connectivity issues?
Yeah, thanks, Katia. Great question. We've actually been working with students since March to ensure that they have what they need in terms of technology, software, and connectivity. I think that can be a real anxiety for students especially. And so just so that the university is there for you, right? We will help you and we'll see you through any of those challenges. Specifically, we're partnering as a university with our Office of Financial Aid and our Office of Information Technology to make sure that students do have what they need. And so if a student finds that they really are in need of technology or connectivity, they don't have the resources to take care of that on their own, they should go and fill out a COVID-19 emergency relief grant, and that's through the Office of Financial Aid. And just so students know, I'll go over those steps pretty quickly here, but you can find more on the website, and I believe we'll share the link. But you just log into your NYU Albert Student Center and click on the Finances tab. You'll then click on the COVID-19 Emergency Relief Fund button to access the form, and then complete the form by filling in and checking the reasons why you're requesting resources. And of course, technology is one of those reasons that you might be requesting resources through this relief grant. And then if you have questions beyond just getting the resources you need for technology or connectivity, our Office of Information Technology support desk is there for you as well to talk you through steps, to talk about options with you as well. And so those two offices are our main two areas, but of course, there are many of us who can direct you to that once you get here. If you don't remember the website name, aren't sure what to do, we're happy to direct you to those. And we're really, we want to make sure that all of our students have what they need to study and thrive academically.
Thank you. So our next question is for Natasha. Are your services available to all students or just for students on financial aid? How could someone schedule an appointment or a time to meet?
Sure. So as part of student success, financial education is for all of our students. So not just students that are on financial aid. We work with undergraduate students, graduate students, and international students. Like I mentioned, we've provide resources, calculators, videos. We do one-on-one coaching appointments. We help students with outside scholarship search services as their circumstances may need additional funding. So we talk with students to help them identify, like, well, where are their concerns at the moment and how is this financially impacting their success here and their continuation. So, yep, we work with all of the students, graduate and undergraduate, and we can get parents and support network involved with, you know, students' permission. So that is something that we are open to.
Okay, good to know. So our next question is back for Leah. So how does NYU support the success of students of color and those from marginalized and underrepresented backgrounds? How might that support look different in this fall?
So supporting our students of color, students from marginalized backgrounds, including those who identify as part of the LGBTQ plus community, who are undocumented, who are first generation students, are all valued within our community, and that's not just lip service. So we really look at how do we embed resources into some of our systems to support students. So we don't look to necessarily carve out so many separate spaces, so much as strengthen all of our resources so that they support all of our students. What does that look like? So if we're talking about research opportunities that we know are important for any student who's looking to continue on into graduate school or to, you know, to develop as an entrepreneur, we want to infuse resources, whether it's opportunities, whether it's funding, whether it's connections and events into those spaces. So we work with an equity mind frame, and we think about what are some of the things that we can do to better support our students. There are some specific programs that we do offer in terms of mentoring. We think that's extremely important for folks to be able to connect with someone who understands their background or understands some of the experiences that they may be having that may be somewhat unique as ties to parts of their identity. So we have a focused mentorship program for first generation students of color. We have a momentum initiative that we offer that connects men of color in these spaces. And we support and work with many departments and units in their initiatives as well. So whether it's through different scholars programs or opportunities, we're there. But most importantly, we want to empower students in their curiosity and development. So we facilitate a number of workshops, trainings, and opportunities to learn more about yourself, learn more about how you're engaging with others, and learn more about the world that we exist in together. And so how can we strengthen not only the individual student, but the campus community? So we work with our faculty, we work with our staff, we work to provide a lot of opportunities that will ensure the success of our students. We're going to continue that work, right? That's embedded in who we are. That's embedded in the work that we do at NYU. But we may be doing a lot of that more virtually. We may not be able to gather in person in the way that we would have, let's say, for a retreat or let's say for like a meeting and we're all packed in shoulder to shoulder. We want to be mindful of our guidance that we're receiving from our university leadership, but we will still be working on these programs. We will still offer mentorship opportunities. We're still going to promote the advancement of research, education, and learning. All of that will continue. It will just continue in a virtual space because we want NYU students to know that regardless of how or where they may start, they're fully supported and will be empowered throughout their time here at NYU.
Thank you so much for that. So our next question for Soomie is, what are some resources that students might struggle academically? What advice would you offer, or sorry, what are some reasons that students might struggle academically, and what advice would you offer for those students?
Sure, so that is like a giant question all on its own, because so many of their struggles end up showing up in the classroom too. Like whatever the root of their personal struggles are can result in a poor grade in a class or a non-attendance or something like that. Obviously, the pandemic's brought new challenges. Technology alone, this remote environment, streaming, submitting things, like how to actually click that right button and get things to work, figuring out schedule, a space, a way to not feel just sort of like time is standing still or stretched out too long, have some variety to get that mind working. It's it's really just a hard time overall. So things like that can show up in the success in their classes. Time management and motivation is a always kind of thing. College, I think everybody kind of points to the one thing. If you can figure out time management, can lead to success. And here we all are, probably still trying to figure it out for ourselves, because I don't think there's an end goal. There's not the end to figuring out time management, but really addressing that as things go. And resilience, honestly, that sort of, sure, we all have bad days, and that's okay, and that's expected, and it's supposed to happen. Things are supposed to be hard. If we get knocked down, do we get back up? How long does it take for us to get back up with the academics? The other thing, NYU students are great students. They're smart, talented students who have high expectations for themselves. And so that first moment of like, I got a B can knock people down in ways that, like, having come out way on the other end of things, you're like, seriously, that is not a reason to be so hard on yourself. But they are. Our student body is talented student body, so they are hard on themselves. There is, the need to be, this need to be perfect, this need to do it on my own, that kind of thing happens. And that sometimes can lead to that, like, first misstep, or that first little stumble can lead to that, now I'm just gonna sit here, and you sit there for too long. And so that can kind of lead to some of the academic struggles. I think probably the biggest piece of advice really is to not do it alone, to utilize the resources around. There is a college community for a reason. The whole, it takes a village. It's true. And in college, none of this is meant to be done alone. And the way that students can learn really about the things that they're learning in the classroom and the things that they're learning outside the classroom, it just has to happen wider than sitting there on your own at the desk with a single screen or a single textbook in front of you. So we really would say, use the resources both that NYU provides, but also peers and professors building those connections. So important to having that healthy mind and really broadening everything that we hope that students get out of their education here.
Thank you. So our next question is for Natasha. What are some common topics or issues that come up when you meet with students, and how are you able to help them?
So when I meet with students, the way that I meet with them is they either reach out through the financial education website. There's a form that you fill out, and I think the link has been provided in the chat, or they email us through financial education. But one of the things that we meet about, where we do one-on-one coaching, video coaching, phone coaching, used to be in-person coaching. We actually talk about like financial plans and budgeting while in school. So I work with students to evaluate their resources and support to come up with something that's workable for them, that helps them achieve their financial goals. So commonly it used to be like, oh, I'm planning on studying abroad, or, oh, I'm looking to pay off this balance or something. So we work that way. We also talk about, like I mentioned, seeking additional scholarships, where to look, how to craft a great essay, how this will affect aid overall. And for that information, like as far as financial aid and additional information, we did a great webinar on Friday where we talked about financial resources available. So please refer to our links here, so you'll be able to see previous webinars about if you have any questions about financial aid. I also talk about potential student loan repayments. So as folks are nearing their graduation, so they can get their mind around, well, what would be the requirement, and then how this looks if they're going to graduate school. And one of the more recent conversations I've been having with students about the potential to work on campus for this upcoming fall semester, whether that is in person or remotely, and how does that look? Either through the work study program, or is there any other opportunities? And we do work with the Wasserman Career Center for students, and they will be having sessions through NYU Welcome in order to help students through that process. And I believe they will have a webinar series as well. So those are the things that we've been coming up with so far.
Thank you. So our next question is for Bernie. What opportunities will there be for students to let the university know how they are doing and what their experience is like?
Right. Hi again, everyone, and thanks, Katia. I appreciate the question. First things first, students can always let us know how they're doing, right? Good or bad, and if they ever need anything. So by talking to their academic advisor, talking to anyone on this panel, the offices we represent, talking to their faculty, right? We're all here, we're all connected to each other. So letting us know how you're doing is really critical. They can always, once again, if they don't know where to start, they can always email my area, the Office of Student Success at studentsuccess@nyu.edu. And we'll figure out how to get them plugged in based on their question, their need, or maybe what they're feeling or experiencing. I'd also want to give a plug, and I believe there's a previous webinar just on the outstanding services in our Counseling and Wellness Center, right, for students who are experiencing issues with anxiety, mental health concerns, anything that they might need, where they want to talk to someone who's really a professional in that area. Just an outstanding service for all of our students, and one that I would talk about and promote each and every day to all of our students is one that they don't need to wait, right, until they're at a moment where they feel like they're really stressed to reach out to that office. It's just a really great resource. But in addition to all those things, right, the university is also being mindful, right, that things will look different this upcoming year. We have students who will be on campus, some studying remotely. We want to make sure that we're really reaching out and in touch and being proactive and seeking out feedback from all of our students. So we're actually coordinating something that we're calling the Student Voice Series. And so students can expect to get outreach from my office, Office of Student Success, 2 to 3 times a semester. We're just be checking in. It'll be a brief, basically 90-minute check-in survey where we want to know how you're doing, right? What you need, what areas you might be looking for assistance you haven't been able to find, right? Challenges that you're facing, all those pieces. This will be great feedback for us as a university. And based on some of those responses, we may actually reach out and say, okay, you said you need more academic support. Let me connect you with Soomie, right, at the ULC and other great pieces. So we're not going to wait for you to ask us. We're going to be proactive as well. And I think to piggyback on some earlier comments, I'd also say that, for students, I think a lot of us have realized this now as we've gotten older, right? But asking for help is really a sign of strength, not a sign of weakness, right? Being self-aware enough to know that, boy, I really need something here. And there are all these wonderful people waiting, right, to really assist me. Please reach out. And we realize that students who know that and students who can do that are actually ahead of the game. So we encourage all of our students to be proactive, ask for help. But once again, we'll be reaching out to connect with you as well. So look out for those Student Voice series. Thanks, Katia.
Okay, so of the pre-submitted questions, the last 3 is just for everyone who'd like to answer. So the first one is, if you haven't answered already, how will the services in your areas be accessed by students in the fall?
I'll hop in.
Okay.
Go ahead, Natasha, go for it.
Well, for financial education, we have a website, like I mentioned, nyu.edu/financial-ed. We have a website, email, I think that's a website email. So financial.education@nyu.edu. But also, when you reach out through Student Success or through NYU Connect, which Bernie will talk about, they can make connections with my office in order to make sure that you are attached to the right person.
You know me so well, Natasha. I was going to give a quick plug for NYU Connect. Once again, students, it really is a really great place to start if you don't know where to start, if you're looking for an office, right? So go in through NYU Connect, look at your success network, look at those resources tabs, schedule appointments, contact information for any office, and every office is there, email, phone number as well. And so it really is a great way and a great place to start. And that includes the Office of Student Success as well. If you want to get in touch with us and you've forgotten our website, studentsuccess@nyu.edu. How could you, right? But in case you do, NYU Connect is another great way to find us, schedule appointments, schedule one-on-one time with our student success specialist for some coaching as well, talking through many of the things that we brought up today. But that's another great way this fall and really any semester to be in touch with us.
Okay, thank you. So our next question is, what advice do you have for students as we start this year, knowing that it'll feel much different from previous fall semesters?
So I'll jump in there for that. And one thing is just thank you Thank you for considering us. Thank you for keeping NYU an option, and for believing that this is the place that can help you in this next journey in your life. And so I think there's the reality that it is different. It's not going to be of less quality or of less importance. Starting at NYU, continuing at NYU is still an accomplishment and one that should be celebrated. So for our rising seniors and coming students, congratulations again. So, you know, celebrate that, right? So it is going to be different, but in some of that is just, you know, attending these webinars, hearing a little bit more about what's happening so that you can prepare for what that transition could be. I think recognizing that there are going to be some ups and downs. There are going to be some experiences that you maybe had your heart set on or that you thought about when you were a junior or a sophomore or even a senior that may not manifest in the same way, but it doesn't mean that you're going to have any less of a great time here at NYU or any less of a quality of education. So, you know, as Bernie shared with NYU Connect or anyone on this, this webinar, connect with us, reach out. If there's something that you have questions about, we do not expect you to be experts in university leadership and navigation. Just reach out and say, I have a question about this, or I'm struggling with this, or I need to learn more about this. Is there an office for this? And we're here to help you navigate that. I will piggyback kind of on what Bernie said with counseling and wellness. We're here to also norm that asking for help is okay. Saying that you are struggling is okay. Particularly within CMAP, we have a psychologist who works specifically with students of color, understanding that background. Everyone within the counseling center has that cultural competency, but someone who works a little bit more closely with us in regards to our programs will be available this fall virtually as well. And so just thinking again, like it's not going to be the exact same because we are in different and challenging times, but there are ways that you can still succeed. There are ways that you can still connect. And if you have questions, you are not expected to have all the answers or to figure it out on your own. And so reach out to any of us or these offices that were mentioned if you have any questions or any needs.
A lot of the student programming, I will say as well, is looking for your voices. They are very much responsive to the voices that we hear. Learning Center, everything that we run as a group is completely student suggested, student developed, student run, because our goal is really to provide the best support we can for students. So this is a new environment. This doing everything, you know, the whole world is different right now. And so we are working very hard to do what we think is going to be helpful. If it's not, or if a student feels like there's something else that we can do, we want to hear it, because we definitely want to be responsive to those things.
Okay, thank you. So our last pre-submitted question is, for new students, they've heard from family and friends that college is different from high school. How so, and what should they be focusing on or mindful of as they prepare for classes and the transition to NYU?
All right, I'll go ahead and hop in first. Thanks, Kadia, for the question. You know, we know that for our students, you were admitted because we know you can be successful, right? First and foremost. Right, so you belong here and you will be able to succeed here. Now, we also know that what led to your success in high school might be a little different than what leads to your success in college. So I think it really is being open, right? Open to that feedback, open to those suggestions, open to the resources like the ones that you've heard about today, because a lot is changing, right? The rigor and pace will be a little different than maybe what you're used to in high school. New networks of support, those folks who are supporting you may be distant, right? If you're not learning from home. So really looking for and engaging and investing time in those relationships. We can't say enough about the importance of relationships, both with your peers, with your faculty, and also folks like us on campus who really do care about your success. I also hope that students begin to have that shift in mindset, right? That they really approach things with a growth mindset, right? That they know that with time and with practice, they can achieve most things. Right? So if something is difficult, maybe they didn't experience a lot of difficult or challenges. Maybe things came easy to them in high school, right? That may not always be the case here, but it doesn't mean that you can't succeed, right? But it may be about time on task, maybe about time management, it may be about the ways you're approaching those pieces. And so reaching out to people who can help you work through that, process that, I think is really important. Maybe lastly, I'll say, and this hits on something that Leah said earlier, is that faculty, spend time with your faculty members, right? Get to know your faculty members. You know, maybe in high school you met with your faculty member or a counselor if you were in trouble, right, or something. Here, office hours really are for all students, and they're for the students who, you know, have the A- and want the A, right? They're for the student who was a little bit confused in class. They're for someone who wants to connect with faculty because they read on their website that their research is really interesting and they want to get involved in that maybe down the road, right? So take advantage of getting to know your faculty early and often. There'll come a day when you'll need recommendation letters, right, for graduate school, medical school, whatever it may be, and you'll want to lean on, right, those faculty members who had you in class, and they can write an even stronger rec letter if they've gotten to know you over time. And so just some really, hopefully, practical reasons. And I think I'll wrap up my comments here by just saying, if you've heard nothing else, right, during this session, just remember, right, NYU really cares about you and your success as individual students. If you're a family member, we care about the success of your student, and we're here for questions you may have, family members as well. How can we support you so you're able to fully support your student? Right? We really are committed to each and every one of you. Whether you're on this call, you'll be listening later, or you have a question down the road. So please reach out. We're here to support you.
Okay, so that's all for the pre-submitted questions. If any of the panelists want to address any of the Q&A questions, this would be the time.
So I just wanted to highlight the information for connecting with the female psychologist is in the chat. It can be accessed through Counseling and Wellness. Just indicate that you would like to connect with that counselor. And similarly, as you've heard with the NYU Returns Counseling and Wellness webinar, I encourage you to go check that out if you haven't, for more information about the specialized services and offerings within the health center and counseling and wellness specifically.
I think I'd also like to give another plug to previous webinars. I think there's a lot of really, really great content that's been covered in previous webinars. Even seeing some of the questions popping up today that really have been addressed well by the experts in those areas, right? So every webinar has been meant to really bring the experts to you, the students, the family members, the community members here. So whether it's financial aid or housing or academics or support services, those are really great. I think pretty digestible. They all happen in 30 to 45 minutes, right? So be able to, you know, on your next walk or run, maybe as you're making dinner, right, plop the phone down on the counter, take that in. I think it's a really great way to do that. But once again, if you have questions, can't find it on the webinar, don't know where to go, please reach out to any of our offices or to the Office of Student Success as well.
Okay, well, if that's all for the audience questions, I'd like to just ask any of the panelists if you have any final words. Yeah.
I think just a thank you again, and a warm welcome to all the new students who would be coming. A welcome back to all the returners. We're here and we're ready to go, or we're getting ready to go, or we're constantly working on going. That we missed our students, and we are looking forward to working with them and seeing them again.
I'll just add, be safe, be well, check out our resources that are online and the webinar, and I hope that you stay excited about coming to NYU.
I want to say another thanks to everyone who joined today. Really looking forward to meeting you, whether it's in person or virtually this fall. No questions too small. We're always here to help. We look forward to making your NYU experience the best it can be, whether it's this fall, this year, or all the semesters ahead. Thank you for coming.
Okay, everyone. Well, I'd like to thank our speakers for joining us today, and I'd also like to thank everyone who was able to log on and participate. So this webinar will be posted on the NYU Returns website so that anyone who missed it can view it. And when you go onto the NYU Returns website, I encourage you to also take a moment to check out the previous webinars that have already been posted. And please continue to check NYU Returns for the most up-to-date information about the fall 2020 semester. And everyone stay safe and enjoy the rest of your summer. Bye.
Thank you, Katia.
Thanks, Katia.
Bye.
Thank you.